But a team is like a family. And you may get mad at somebody in your family. You might get angry with your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister. But you don't stop loving them.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And that's the difference. And in that era, we stopped loving each other. And when that happened, people started choosing sides.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you could hear it in Gary V's voice. That separation during the Shaq and Kobe days, oh, it really hurt them. And it all came together during that 2004 finals against the Pistons. Kobe was definitely not trying to have Shaq finish with that MVP.
And so it's easy to blame Kobe. This really bothers me.
Yeah, no, I know it does.
Because we should have won 10.
Facts. They should have won way more championships. Way more championships should have been under Kobe and Shaq's belt as a duo. But unfortunately, egos prevailed. Once again, the fact that Kobe was willing to fight Shaq, that's how bad he wanted to be the captain of the team.
It's easy to blame Kobe, and it's easy to blame Shaq. What about the rest of us, including me? There's other players, there's management, there's ownership, coaches, okay? People chose sides, okay? People on the team, players chose sides.
Right.
Okay? Coaches chose sides. The fans chose sides.
And they still do today. A lot of the Kobe portion of the Laker fan base somewhat remembers the history of that three-peat, making it seem like Shaq and Kobe were at the same level, and that was not the case. Some of you fellas can go back and look at some of the highlights of those finals. Kobe Bryant is shooting wide open jumpers, and that's because of all the attention that Shaq was getting. And when it comes to the further after effects of all that division between the two, it even changed the way that Shaquille O'Neal is remembered by Laker fans today. He should be held up to a much higher tier when we remember all-time Laker greats. It's only Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal who three-peated and won 3 straight final MVPs.
Coaches chose sides. The fans chose sides. Okay? And it was divisive, and the whole thing crumbled. Okay? And it didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I'm as guilty as everyone else, because I think that looking back on it, you know, Shaq was hurt. Doesn't mean he shouldn't have played, you know. You know, there's things that we could do to mitigate some of the things that he had, but it doesn't mean he wasn't hurt.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And he said to me when he came up to me, and we were, you know, I don't remember how we got there, but it was him making a point. He pulled the hair on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it hurts, right? You know,
Yeah.
Pulls it hard and goes, "That hurt?" I said, "Yeah, that hurt." He goes, "Yeah, that hurts me too when somebody pulls my hair."
Mm.
Meaning, yeah, I'm big, I'm strong, you know, but
I get hurt too.
I get hurt too.
I'm human.
You know what I mean?
I'm human.
And,
I'm human.
And his, like, especially the thing with the big toe, you know, anybody that has that joint, that first joint where you know, that the metatarsal comes out and meets your big toe, that's where you toe off. Well, he was 350 something pounds. Now he had a big toe and a big metatarsal, but still.
It's a lot of weight.
Anybody, you know, and we put a plate in there trying to offload it. I mean, you know, you do things to help, but, you know, God bless him. I love him. He knows, you know, that I wish that I had done more in that regard, you know, but I mean, he could be polarizing too.
A lot of the Lakers stars have been polarizing throughout the years, and it's still playing out even today. We could see the battle between LeBron James, Clutch Sports, then you got the Rob Pelinka faction and Jeannie Buss, and also new ownership. So the Laker dynamic has always been very Hollywood-ish when it comes to the drama of that franchise. And there was definitely a lot left on the table when it comes to championships between Shaq and Kobe.
Of course, Shaq was
dominant.
He was dominant. I mean, and this is going back to like when we were talking about Shaq and throwing stones at him and stuff, much as we love him. If Shaq wanted to win every single game,
There's nothing you can do about it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they would have had to foul him out of the game
Yeah.
is the only thing they could do. You know what I mean? The officials would have to be complicit, you know.
Yeah.
If Shaq wanted every single rebound, you would not have gotten one. It's literally, Brad Miller,
Very well.
Yeah.
it's a big man, right?
Yeah, Shaq almost killed him too.
Okay,
right?
yeah. Yes.
If he would have
Okay.
connected, he would have killed him.
So there's a sort of thing in the league that you may not have ever met a player on another team, but they know who you are, you know who they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because we're a part of the NBA family
Right.
at that point,
Right.
right? So there were times where I might have to go to the scores table to check on something. I might have missed a foul or something, or a correction. Brad Miller was checking in a game. I don't remember if it was Chicago or Sacramento, wherever he was. And he's at the scorers table trying to get in the game. I'm at the scorers table checking on something. And he's huge, right? He's a big man.
Yeah, yeah.
And he looks down at me and he goes, "Gee, look up." "Yeah, Brad. Tell me the truth. He's 400 pounds." I said, he's not, Brad. I think he's like 352 today, something like that. He goes, "Nah, it's bullshit." He goes, "He's got to be 400. He goes, "I am trying with every ounce of strength. I can't move him." Okay. And Brad Miller was probably one of the biggest, strongest guys in the league at the time.
At the time, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And he couldn't move him.
No, couldn't move him, couldn't budge him. And I used to get and this is when sometimes every once in a while the athletic trainer takes off his athletic training hat and he steps into the basketball place, which is really no business for us. I mean, I don't know an X from an O, but I would say to him, because you're playing injured and stuff, let's try to play smart. And that's one thing about Kobe. I tell these stories about Kobe. If you're looking at Kobe Bryant through my eyes, and the question that he asked me about when did I realize, because with my eyes, there was nothing really that special about Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Was he 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah.
So was he big compared to me? Yeah. Was he big compared to NBA standards? No.
Mm-hmm.
Was he strong? Yeah. Was he strong? No. Okay. Was he quick? Yeah. Could he jump? Yeah. Did he have like a 42-inch vertical? No.
Right.
There weren't any. I mean, he was gifted, talented guy, but there's a lot of guys that were just like him.
Right.
Facts. And that's another narrative that the Kobe fans do not want to acknowledge. He didn't have the hops of a Vince Carter. He didn't have the scoring ability of an Allen Iverson. He wasn't as fast or even have the hand size of a Michael Jordan. But once again, the Mamba mentality is what pushed him over some of those guys. You look at a guy like Tracy McGrady, he has way more raw talent when it comes to scoring. But Kobe, working on his game maybe 2 or 3 times a day, after a few years with that Mamba mentality, T-Mac can't even catch up. Same thing for Vince Carter.
Why does he have 5 rings? And other guys that were infinitely more gifted don't have any.
Hey, Gary V's in the bag right here. This is something I'm always alluding to in my previous videos when it comes to Kobe Bryant versus his peers.
And there are things. And one of those things was he not only played hard, he not only worked hard, he worked smart. A lot of people work hard. There was no extraneous movements with him. Yeah, it was almost like choreographed, his practices, his workouts. He knew what he wanted to do, and he had several options. And you know this better than I do. He probably had 4 moves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it depended on which one you took
Which
away.
one, yeah, about to say which one you tried to take away.
Yeah, I mean, unless
he
he got really stubborn on something, and he just wanted to prove to you that if he really, really wanted to, but that took up a lot of energy. Okay, so why go to something that you're trying to take away? He would just go to something else.
Yeah.
So if you took this away, he went to that. If you took that away, he went to that. And so I was trying to talk to Shaq about this. Why don't you do all of your work before you get the ball? Okay, go down and take the block. Okay, and then they'll throw it to you, and then you score. Okay, but no. okay? You want to post up away from the block, okay, with your back to the basket and show everybody your cat-like reflexes because you're 7 foot and you are cat-like and you want to spin and you want to be Hakeem Olajuwon, you know, and fadeaway baseline. That's not you, man, you know? But the game was boring to him. If he went down, took the block, he gave it to him, he turned around and
easily put it
scored.
up.
It was too easy.
Jump hook or dunked or drop step dunk. Or
Yeah,
drop step, the
you know,
spin
he
move.
he made the game harder than it needed to be, you know? And it's one of the things about greatness, you know, that really great, and this I think goes across the board for life in many ways. Okay? People that are really great at stuff make it look easy. It's not.
Right.
They make it look easy.
Right.
Okay. So you got some people that make easy things hard.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it doesn't have to be that hard,
that's true.
man.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? You know?
That's true.
And then you got people that make hard things look easy. You know what I mean? And most people that are somewhat successful, that's probably the best way to say it, are somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you try to figure it out.
And now just to hop on a quick side note before we hear back from Gary V, listen to Shaq speak on his issues with Kobe and a lot of the hazing and just the way Shaq's personality was, just him being kind of a class clown and Kobe being very serious. Those two worlds definitely collided.
I hazed Kobe one time, and it's like the FBI came to my room the next morning.
No way.
Shit, it's like he off limits. I was like, what you mean he off limits? Like, he off limits. I was like, what you mean? Like, bro, he off limits.
That's how I was. That's how I wasn't Kobe, but I told him like
Jerry
don't
West
play with him.
came
That's my
down,
little
Mitch
brother.
Cup
Don't play
down,
with him.
Magic brought his punk ass down there. Like, hey man, leave him alone. I was like, all right.
I remember.
And the only reason why I didn't mess with him because when I got to Orlando, they Scott told me lift his bags. I said I don't do that, bro.
Right.
He said, you a rookie? I said, no, I'm not a rookie. I'm Shaq. I ain't lifting no motherfucking bag. If you going, I said, hey, if you think about making me lift these motherfucking bags, you better get the motherfucking taste out your mouth. Or part two of my killing spree.
You notice how Shaq called Magic's punk ass? Yo, Magic loved Kobe, man. That's his man's right there. I know Magic was riding hard for Kobe. So Shaq got a little animosity right there. He said Magic's punk ass. Oh, man, we see you right there, Shaq.
I always talk about my 4. Don't get 3 without him, right?
Absolutely.
Don't get 3 without Big Shot Bob. And, you know, we went through a lot of trials and tribulations that built us into the powerhouse that we became. I revealed something on Trey's podcast, Young Trey, and how I used to handle Kobe. See, when I was there, it was mine. Everything was mine. And I see that he wanted that. Now, a lot of times when you get in a position like that, you're not going to get it. But I knew that I needed him. So I would egg him on. Well, fuck it, it's my team. And it would just drive him crazy. No, what? Well, fuck you. Man, fuck all that. Just throw that motherfucker to me. You ain't good at, like, because remember his first 2 years, I won't say he was good, but he was young. And he would try to do stuff and be like, nah, that ain't how the shit work, my boy. Throw that motherfucker to me, cut, then we give it, and it would drive him crazy. So he'd be, like, you know, when he said he was in the gym 17 hours a day, he was. I leave, because listen, people always talk about, oh, you never came down in shape. Who the fuck I'm getting in shape for?
Yeah, Shaq talking this shit. But right there, him talking about Kobe wasn't quite yet that guy. The Kobe stands within the Laker fan base still narrates that story as if Kobe came into the league being that guy. And that's what makes that whole Mamba mentality very genius, because day by day, if you outwork your opponents, you're eventually going to surpass them. Again, it's very unfortunate the friction that happened between the two, because it even affected the way Shaq is remembered within the Laker organization. He should be held up to a much higher esteem.
Who I'm training for? I don't have to. I'm already that guy, and when I want to get ready, when I turn it on, that's when it's gonna be a problem. So he had to do that. So he pew, and I see that it's like having a little puppy.
Right.
You see the puppy bites. Man, we got to train him. You smack him on the head, see what he gonna do. You smack him on the head and he go away, you know you got a soft puppy, but you smack him and he come out. So I would just drive him crazy because I knew I was gonna need him. Motherfucker, I'm getting 30. What you getting tonight? But I would piss him off, and you know the media, people don't understand marketing. I wanted everybody to talk about us. Yeah, what happened to that? Motherfucking Lou Williams ain't passing the motherfucking ball he want to shoot because I know Lou Williams ain't no punk. He gonna say something back. But on the court, it was all like he knows this. Off the court, everybody gonna do what they do. When you get inside that rectangle, that square or whatever, it's all respect. So. You know what I mean? But I used to just drive them crazy on purpose, and it worked. Like people say, "What would you do different?" I wouldn't do nothing different. I wouldn't do because we won 3 out of 4. It'll be a better narrative if we won 1 out of 4 or didn't win any. We won 3 out of 4. I ain't the smartest cat. That's 75 motherfucking percent. I'm good.
Hey, 3 out of 4 isn't bad, but there was so much left on the table. It's just, oh man, we could only imagine. Those two still to this day is perhaps the most dominant duo we've ever seen. I would say post Michael Jordan, it's Kobe and Shaq, and then in second place would be Durant and Stephen Curry.